Thanks so much for joining us here. We have made it to your Friday at noon. Mallory, I know you told us there was a warm-up on the way. It just hasn't happened quite yet.
Not yet. Yeah, we have to be patient. Saturday and Sunday looking a lot better than today. We started off in the teens this morning. It certainly was a frigid start. Thankfully, winds are a lot lighter today compared to yesterday, but actual air temperatures are still downright cold. We are below freezing right now in Louisville, 30 degrees at the airport, 29 in Valley Station, and PRP 27 currently in Fern Creek. And you can see temperatures all across Kentuckiana in a similar fashion here, mid to upper 20s. Louisville kind of the warm spot at 30 degrees at the airport. So that certainly says something. Now, I will say we have plenty of sunshine, so it looks nice out there. That certainly helps your mood a little bit with hardly a cloud in sight here on the satellite and radar. And wind gusts, as I mentioned, a lot lighter compared to yesterday. We had very gusty winds for your Thursday, even into the afternoon. But at this time, we're seeing winds between about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your hourly planner expecting those highs to top out in the mid-30s this afternoon, and then overnight lows will be falling back down into the 20s. You can see all across Kentuckiana your hometown forecast for tonight. It's going to be another mostly clear and cold night. Some upper teens, lower 20s by early tomorrow morning. But as we mentioned, warmer weather is on the way for the weekend, as well as some rain chances by late Sunday. We'll talk much more about that coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory. Today is the last official business day for the city of Bonneville, Kentucky. The Hart County community is where just over 200 Kentuckians call home, and a vote to dissolve their local government was decided by a difference of only 7 votes back in November. Bonneville's official last day is Sunday, December 9th. Hart County Judge Executive Joe Choate said the county will be taking over maintenance of city streets, which will then become county roads. The Louisville Fire Department is one step closer to getting funds for desperately needed repairs. Metro Council says it's ready to sign a check for millions of dollars to get it done. Alexander Goldberg and photojournalist Aspen Hester explain.
Louisville firefighters in seat after seat showing solidarity at the Louisville Metro Council.
Frankly, our fleet is in such bad shape that it's going to contribute to the injury or worse on behalf of a firefighter.
These photos are some of the over 150 examples of fire truck and firehouse deterioration presented to Metro Council.
Chair, you have 7 yes votes.
The Louisville Fire Department became one step closer to getting $6 million to fix it.
We are significantly behind in our apparatus replacement schedule, as well as some of our facilities, and this is going to give us a big chunk of money to move down that road.
Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill says they'll buy 3 fire trucks and have over $1 million to repair fire stations across the metro.
We have 7 stations that are over 100 years old. There's a lot of tradition in that, there's a lot of history in that, but also our firefighters have to live there for 1/3 of their lives, and we need them to be functioning.
The money is coming from a $16.5 million budget surplus in the city. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg wants 37% of that for Louisville Fire. But it was up to the Budget Committee to approve that recommendation, and they got it.
We appreciate all that you do, and we're happy to be able to help you move forward with some of the issues that you have as well.
Now, the full council has to give its final approval next Thursday. They say the fight for funds is never over, but a rubber stamp on $6 million is a step in the right direction. In Louisville, Alexander Goldberg, WHAS11 on your side.
Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill says the department is the 3rd oldest in the nation, with 9 trucks more than 20 years old. And the National Fire Protection Association says they should not be in use for more than 15 years. Well, new video shows a U.S. postal worker being robbed at gunpoint here in Louisville. It was one of 3 robberies last week. This video was released by postal inspectors on Crittenden Drive. It's from November 26th, showing the suspect getting out of that white Audi, holding the postal worker at gunpoint and demanding their keys. Investigators said the plate on the car was stolen, and there were a total of 3 similar robberies that day. Keys were taken in all 3. The postal inspector warns that could lead to more crimes.
Steal mail for, one is checks, but also there can be U.S. currency and maybe debit or gift cards that they're obtaining at the same time.
A $150,000 reward is now being offered for those 3 suspects in this case. Anyone with information can call the number on your screen. That's 1-877-876-2455. And that is the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Jeffersonville police now say the suspect in a recent homicide knew his victim. 55-year-old William Davis was arrested Wednesday for the murder of 45-year-old James Truman. On November 23rd, police were called to a home on Indiana Avenue close to Big Four Station, and that's where they found Truman dead inside the house. Jeffersonville police said they found multiple pieces of evidence connecting Davis to the scene. It also helps them determine the relationship of the two men.
It's important to emphasize that the relationship between Mr. Truman and Mr. Davis was surrounded by criminal activity. The reason I want to highlight this fact is to provide reassurance to our community that this was not just a random act of violence.
Davis is charged with murder and theft. And in another homicide case out of Jeffersonville, police are now looking for the suspect and his girlfriend. On November 21st, police said 19-year-old Anthony White shot a man on Copp Avenue. He hasn't been seen since, and police say his girlfriend, Andrea Peoples, is missing too. Her mother reported her missing 4 days ago, saying she was last seen with White. Police do not believe either of them are in Jeffersonville. They also said this was not a random shooting, so no further danger to the public. If you know anything about this case, you are asked to call Jeffersonville Police. That tip line is 812-218-TIPS. JCPS says it will continue with its weapons detection system even as the supplier faces a lawsuit from the Federal Trade Commission. In a filing last week, the FTC said Evolve's scanners have failed to detect weapons in schools in several cases. The lawsuit specifically pointed to an instance in 2022 where a 7-inch knife made it through scanners at a school in New York. That lawsuit says the knife was later used to stab a student, which prompted school officials to increase the sensitivity of the Evolve system. And that change caused an increase in false alarms. In a statement, JCPS said, "We have seen a decrease in guns found in our schools since implementing these devices." Evolve has not admitted to any wrongdoing, but said it has resolved the suit with the FTC. And Churchill Downs Incorporated is now suing the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority. The federal lawsuit filed Wednesday argues that HISA's methods of assessing fees is illegal and unfair. Fees were originally based on race starts at the tracks, but now include a percentage of race purses. According to the lawsuit, Churchill owes almost $2 million, and if left unpaid, HISA could force racing to stop. It relies on those fees to fund its operations, and in a statement, the organization said it vows to aggressively defend itself.